As the Trump administration keeps the pressure on Cuba, Texas DPS and Border Control are focused on locking down the southern border.
Earlier this week, Texas Governor Greg Abbott signing an order directing DPS to expand its repeat offender task force in an attempt to further his crackdown on repeat violent offenders.
Now, since creating the task force in December, the initiative has seen the arrests of 728 repeat offenders, including 455 high-threat criminals and gang members. Our border correspondent Jason Jones joined Texas DPS for operations across Texas, and he joins us now with more on that. Jason, what can you tell us?
Oh, Bob, Katrina, it's good to be with you. You know, and it's amazing when you're down here. One thing that always stays the same no matter how much border security you have is these cartels and the tactics they use against law enforcement to get people and drugs into this country. Yesterday, while we were in bed, we got to see the level of that. And it first started off with what you're about to see with drones crossing from the Mexico side into the U.S. and then escorting 5 individuals via a raft into the country up to a vehicle that then picked them up and tried to make it into the country. I want you to look here at Lieutenant Chris Oliveras in this arrest that we're being made. Take a look, guys.
So this is part of our anti-smuggling operation that we've been doing with Border Patrol. So we got our DPS troopers and Border Patrol working together. And what they were able to do, they were able to disrupt a human smuggling attempt right now. So we have a driver in custody, we have a passenger in custody, both U.S. citizens. We have 5 illegal immigrants that are being smuggled in this vehicle. It just shows the collaboration. You see all the units out here, Border Patrol, DPS, and even some of the local police departments. So really shows having this joint collaboration working together, local, state, and federal law enforcement. We're able to put a stop to some of these smuggling attempts, and also prevents a high-speed chase, which does endanger the public as well. So we're able to stop this vehicle, take the driver in custody, and of course apprehend the illegal immigrants and turn them over to Border Patrol.
Guys, one thing about this is you had 2 Mexican citizens there, 2 individuals from Brazil, and 1 Guatemalan in that group that was crossed by Cartel de Golfo, known as CDG, the Gulf Cartel, into the United States. Now, the driver in that particular incident, he was a local gang member, well known to law enforcement, but this time he's going to jail. He also was in possession of crack cocaine during this incident. Look, it's an example of what they're up against. But one thing, too, you know, over the years, you know, we broke this story in February of 2021, how the cartel, specifically the Gulf, had begun putting these wristbands on men, women, and children. This is debt bondage, guys. This is not human smuggling. This is the trafficking of men, women, and children. Here's another example of this. Hasn't changed. What is interesting, though, is that the groups that we used to see by the hundreds, it's now, as you just saw, 1s, 2s, maybe 5 at a time. The discipline of trafficking them is much more difficult because the border's been shut down. However, the prices are rising. In one arrest they made with Ethiopians, up to $75,000 the cartel is charging. Guys, I've been working this since 1999 down here on the border. I've never heard of numbers that high to move people illegally into this country. And remember, that's debt bondage. What does that mean? They don't have the money to pay these cartels. So for years to come, if they make it into this country, remember, they've got to make payments back to these cartels for years, if not decades to come, to pay off that debt. Back to you.
Basically slaves to the cartels then, once they get through. Jason Jones, always a pleasure. Thank you.